during the coronavirus that I have experienced. The AK Party organization have demonstrated their loyalty and their friendship as well as their link to their country and nation through me during these times as they always did. May God strengthen our unity and our brotherhood and increase our efforts, our enthusiasm, our love until the elections in 2023 and increase it each day. We should keep in mind that 2023 is not only for myself or AK Party, but it will be a turning point for our country and our nation as well. During these elections, with the democracy and development, Turkey will have to choose about going back to the dark days of the past or marching towards the bright future. In none of the competitions that we have entered so far, our nation never abandoned us and withheld their support. Today, we are at the verge of a historic leap and radical change that would bring us to the highest league and make us one of the top 10 economies of the world. Just like every test that we had in the past, we will pass this one as well. Of course, we're not the only ones who are aware of this. For 2 centuries, there have been those who have tried every method to stop our development. And they see the same fact as well. In order to block Turkey's progress, they use their political and economic strength to the end, and on the other hand, they employ all of their instruments inside the country. For 2023, it's an election of fate for them as well. So I ask you to see this clear picture and share it with your own friends and to share it with the rest of our nation. No doubt, just like every major change, during this time period we have certain problems and we pay certain prices. Since 2018, there have been economic fluctuations, especially the cost of life, which has sometimes caused challenges in the lives of our nation. We are using all the resources of the country and the nation, and we have increased the revenues of every person to demonstrate to them that we're always supporting them. After yesterday's cabinet meeting, we had an address, and during that speech, we have shared the new decisions that we have taken with the public. Agriculture to energy to VAT decrease to further support for the youth. In every area, we have announced many good news that would give more ease to our nation. Especially recently, there have been discussions about the electricity bill, and we have instructed the relevant institutions to reconsider the situation to the benefit of our nation. In all AK Party municipalities, we will spread a practice that was initiated by some recently. In water tariffs, and this is for the mayors in the room, we are not the main opposition nor anybody else. We are the AK Party. At least at the rate of VAT decrease, and if possible even more, do a discount in prices in order to contribute to our fight against inflation. Many of our municipalities have announced such measures, for instance, a 7% drop in water tariff. And can the mayors please stand up?
Arkadaşlar, %7 indirim yapmak suretiyle
by making a 7% discount, we should make it easier for our citizens in paying the water bill. more than
zam
25
talebiyle meclise geldi.
Istanbul wanted to carry out a 25% price hike.
O ayrı. Sonunda geldiği noktaya bakalım.
At the end, they settled for
Mecliste tabii ağırlık
25%.
bizde olduğu için
Since we had majority in the parliament, our
bunların
colleagues
bu zam
in the
talebine
parliament
evet demedi.
refused their request for a 25%
Biz
price hike.
vatandaşımızın bu noktada
We
huzurunu istiyoruz.
want the best for
Çünkü bunlar
our citizens
seçim
because
öncesine diyorlardı.
they used to claim
Suya biz
before the
indirim
election
getireceğiz.
that they would make a discount
Ekmeğe
for the
indirim
water or a
getireceğiz.
discount on bread.
Tabii çıktı ağları da
But their
Şanlıurfa'da
leader
bize
in
verin.
Şanlıurfa said, give
Biz
us
de
Şanlıurfa province
Bundan
so
böyle
that from now on
elektriği
we will offer
size bedava verin.
free power to you, free
Bir defa
electricity. First of all,
elektriğin kimde olduğundan haberi yok.
they do not know who manages
Elektrik
electricity.
kimde? Enerji ve Tabii Kaynaklar
Electricity is
Bakanlığı.
managed by the Ministry
Enerji ve
of
Tabii
Energy and
Kaynaklar
Natural
Bakanlığı
Resources.
nerede?
And
AK Parti iktidarı.
AK Party has the Ministry
Dolayısıyla
of Energy and Natural
burada
Resources.
şu an
For that
itibariyle
reason,
bizler
we
elektrikte enerjiyle ilgili
in
tüm
electricity,
adımları
we are
en
taking all
ideal
steps
şekilde
in the
atıyor
best way possible,
ve
all steps relating to
vatandaşımıza
energy,
zulmetmeyen
and
bir süreci
we are
çalıştırıyoruz.
running a process which does not victimize our citizens.
Ve şu anda su tabii ki
And water,
belediyeleri-
of course, is currently
belediye
run
olarak
by municipalities.
sen
As a
seçim
municipality
öncesi
before the
seçim
election
döneminde
or during
sonra
the election
koltuğa
period, you have
oturunca
made
unutanlardan
promises,
oldun.
but you have forgotten
Ve
all about those
şu an
once you
itibariyle
got
de
into the office.
Geldin
Now you
%125'in
are
üzerinde
asking
bir
for
zam
more than a
talebiyle
25%
İstanbul'da
price
işi meclise
increase to have that
Ve
possible in Istanbul.
Mecliste de
And
arkadaşlarımız
in the parliament,
bunların
our
bu talebine
colleagues
evet demedi.
did not accept their
Şimdi ben buradan diyorum ki
request. So now
Türkiye
I make a call
AK Partili belediyelerin olduğu yerlerde
in
bizler
AK Party municipalities
en
all
az
over Turkey.
%7
We
indirim
should
yapmak
do at
suretiyle
least a 7% price
vatandaşlarımızı
decrease
su
so
parasında
that
aydınlatacağız.
we can give more ease to our citizens in terms of their water bills.
Bizimki lafta kalmaz.
We don't
Bizimki
only make
uygulamada.
claims, but
Ve
we
bu adımı
practice
da
it as well.
Hemen süratle
We will take the
nasıl
step very
Kocaeli,
quickly,
Sakarya
just
belediyelerimiz
like
bu
in
adımları
Kocaeli and
attıysa,
Sakarya
şu anda
these steps were
bugünden
taken.
itibaren de
From today on,
süratle
very
hemen
quickly,
tüm belediyelerimiz
in all of
irili
our
ufaklı
municipalities, whether
İnşallah
small or big,
bu adımı atmak suretiyle
should take
ana
a similar
muhalefete,
step
yavrularına hepsine
to
buradan sinyali veriyoruz.
give the signal to the main opposition party and the smaller opposition parties.
Seçim döneminde değil,
Not
seçim döneminin
before the
dışında
elections, but outside the election
bu
period.
açıklamayı yapıyoruz.
We are making
Ve
such an
süratle de
announcement, and very
arkadaşlarımız
quickly
hemen
our colleagues
meclislerinden bunu
will
geçirmek suretiyle
have that ratified in their
vatandaşımızı
parliament, and
inşallah
they will hopefully
rahatlatacak.
be
Kurdaki
relieving our
dalgalanmaların
citizens.
önüne geçtiğimiz
We have prevented
istihdamı,
the fluctuations
üretimi
in FX
ve
rate.
ihracatı
We have
artırarak
increased
büyümeyi
employment,
sürdürdüğümüz
investments,
gibi hayat
and
pahalılığının
exports.
belini de biz
We
göreceğiz.
continued growth, and we will
Ve
also
tekrar ediyorum,
fight and win
marketler,
over the cost of living.
Çarşı pazar
The
eğer
supermarkets, the bazaar,
vatandaşlarımıza hububatta, meyvede,
in
sebzede,
fruits,
şurada burada
vegetables,
hala
grains,
zulmetmeye devam
if they
ediyorsanız
continue victimizing
tüm
our
dolaşan
citizens
teftiş ekiplerimizle,
with
denetim
our audit
ekiplerimizle
teams,
sizlerin sırtına bineceğiz.
we will continue following very closely.
Onun için belediyelerimiz çarşıyı, pazarı,
For that
marketleri
reason, the municipalities should
denetime alacaklar.
monitor very quickly,
Bu
very
çerçevede
closely the
küresel
marketplace and
dengesizliklerden
supermarkets.
kaynaklanan sorunlara
There
çözüm
are some
ararken
problems emerging from
fırsatçılık
global
ve
imbalances,
açgözlülük yaparak
and those who act
halkımızı mağdur
in an
edenleri
opportunist way and in greed,
affetmeyecek,
in a way to
hepsinden
victimize our
yaptıklarının
citizens, we
hesabını
will not forgive them,
soracağız.
and we will
Tabii
bring
her
them
şey
to account for
sırasıyla
their
olacak, her
deeds.
şey vakti saati
Of course,
geldiğinde yapılacak.
everything will
Bugüne
happen
kadar
one by one,
nice
and when
mücadeleleri
the time
beraberce
comes,
zafere
so far
ulaştırdığımız
we have reached
milletimiz
victory after
müşteri olsun.
many struggles,
20
and
yıl
our nation can
biz milletimize
rest
zulmettik.
assured. For 20 years we did not
Nasıl
allow our
milletimizi
nation
huzurlu
to be
kıldıysak
victimized.
bundan sonra da huzurlu
We have
kılacağız.
provided peace
Hak
for
ve
them,
özgürlükleriyle,
peace of mind for them, and
güvenliğiyle,
we will continue doing the
huzuruyla,
same with the rights and
zenginliğiyle,
freedoms, security,
refahıyla,
the
büyük ve
richness
güçlü
and
Türkiye
prosperity.
güneşinin doğuşu
We will
Allah'ın izniyle çok yakın.
ensure the
Değerli kardeşlerim,
birth of the big
bizim
and
için
strong Turkey sun,
bölgemizde
and
ve
hopefully
dünyada
those
kim
days
olduğunu,
are near.
hangi niyetleri taşıdığını, hangi miktarlara sahip olduğunu bildiğimiz
There are certain
hasımlarımızla,
enemies
rakiplerimizle mücadele
which
etmek
we know
kolay.
who they are, and it's easy
Ne
for
kadar
us to
sinsi
fight
yöntemler
against them,
kullanırlarsa
no matter how
kullansınlar,
insidious their
hangi
methods
tuzakları
be,
kurarlarsa
or which
kursunlar,
traps they
hangi
lay,
senaryoları
or which
devreye
scenarios
alırlarsa
they
alsınlar,
devise.
biz bunları
We
biliyoruz,
already
tanıyoruz.
know them.
Bizi asıl zorlayan,
But what really
tarih
challenges
boyunca
us
hep
is
olduğu gibi,
something that has
bugün de
always happened
içimizdeki
throughout
gafiller,
history,
içimizdeki
though the
muhterisler,
ignorant ones or the
içimizdeki
greedy
mankurtlar.
ones among us.
Türkiye asırlardır ne
Turkey
çektiyse
has
işte bu
suffered
iç
for
mücadeleden,
centuries because of
iç
this
kavgadan,
internal
iç
strife, this
çekişmeden,
internal
içeriden
fight,
yediği yumruklardan
and
çekmiştir.
because of the
Tek
fists
parti
that come
faşizminden
from
vesayete,
within, from the
darbelerden
single party
siyasi
fascism to
istikrarsızlıklara,
tutelage to coup
ekonomik
to
krizlerden
political
sosyal pay
instability,
hatlarının
economic
derinleştirilmesine
crisis
kadar
to the deepening of the
yaşadığımız
social
her
fault lines.
badirede bu
At every
tabloyu
challenge
görebiliriz.
that we experience, we
Bugün
see
de
the
aynı
same
dertten muzdaribiz.
conditions. Today we're
CHP
suffering the same
ve
problem.
başındaki
The
zat
Republican People's
maalesef
Party and its
ülkemizde demokrasinin
leader
kökleşmesine,
unfortunately do not allow
ekonominin
democracy to
güçlenmesine,
deepen in our
bölgesel ve
country or
küresel gücünün
economy to
artmasına
strengthen
karşı
or
oynanan
as-
oyunların
or
koç başlığına
Turkey's
soyulmuş.
power to increase in the
Bu
region.
zihniyet
This
yalanlarıyla,
mentality is using
iftiralarıyla,
their lies,
ülkenin
their
zararından,
slanders,
milletin
and they
felaketinden,
are expecting
insanımızın
to gain benefit
sıkıntısından
from the
medet uman
problems of the
siyaset
country
anlayışlarıyla
or the problems of
Türkiye'nin
our
vaktini
nation.
ve
With such a
enerjisini
politics
tüketmenin
mentality,
peşindedir.
they are trying to
Her
waste
ne kadar
the
biz
time and
hedeflerimize doğru
energy of the
yürüyüşümüzden
country.
taviz
No
vermesek
matter
de
how we march
bu can
towards
sıkıcı
our
tablodan
goals, we
üzüntü
are
duymadan
still
edemiyoruz.
unfortunately
Halbuki biz
upset
karşımızda
by this
siyasette
situation.
eserlerimizle
We want to
ve hizmetlerimizle
appear with our
yarışacağımız
projects
bir
and
muhalefet
works in
görmek isterim.
politics, and we would like
Maalesef
to see a similar
bahtımıza Kılıçdaroğlu
opposition, but
ilavesi gibi bir
unfortunately
muhalefet çıktı.
we only have the Kılıçdaroğlu's opposition.
Son günlerde Kılıçdaroğlu kendi aklınca
Recently,
sık sık bize
Kılıçdaroğlu
meydan okuyor.
is trying to
Karşıma
challenge
çık diye
us in
yeni
his own
göğü
way.
inletiyor.
He is asking
Halbuki
me
biz
to
sandıkta
appear in
Kılıçdaroğlu'nun
front of him,
karşısına çok
but we all did that many times at the election polls.
Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu 2010 yılı Mayıs
Kemal
ayında
Kılıçdaroğlu
CHP'ye
in
genel
May
başkan oldu.
2010 became
Aynı
the
yıl anayasa değişikliği halk oylaması
head
yapıldı.
of CHP, and the same year a
Kılıçdaroğlu
constitutional
hayır kampanyası
referendum
yürüttü.
took place. He
Biz
ran a
evet
no campaign, and we ran
milletimiz
an yes
%58'de
campaign.
yanımızda yer
Our
alarak
nation supported
ilk
us with
imtihanında
58%, so in
Kılıçdaroğlu'nu
his
sandığa
very
gönderdi.
first test, they failed. Kılıçdaroğlu failed.
Ardından 2011 yılında
And then
milletvekili
in
genel seçimi yapıldı.
2011, the
Biz %50 ile
parliamentary
birinci parti
elections
olduk.
took place. We
Milletimiz
got
%26
top
ile
place with 50%, and
yine
our nation
sandığa
once again failed
Sonra
Kılıçdaroğlu at
2014
the election
yılında
polls with a
mali
mere
seçimler
26%.
yapıldı. Biz
Then the
%39'da
local
yine
elections
birinci
took
parti
place.
olduk.
Again, we were the first party
Kılıçdaroğlu
with
%26 ile
39%,
bir
and
kez daha sandığa
Kılıçdaroğlu
gömüldü.
with 26%
Yine
once
aynı
again
sene içinde
failed at the elections.
Cumhurbaşkanlığı
The same
seçimi
year,
yapıldı.
the presidential
Kendisi
elections took place.
yüreği yetip karşımıza çıkamadığı için
Could not
ithal bir
challenge us
adayı
directly, so
karşımıza
he put in front of
Milletimiz
us
bizi
an
%52 ile
imported
bu
candidate.
makama layık
Our
görürken
nation elected us to this
Kılıçdaroğlu
position with
tekrar
52%,
hezimete uğradı.
and Kılıçdaroğlu failed
Türkiye
once again.
2015 yılında
In
iki
2015,
milletvekili seçimi yaşadı.
there have been two
Haziran ayındaki
parliamentary
seçimde
elections. In the
AK
June
Parti
elections,
%41
AK
ile
Party
birinci parti
won
olurken
as the first party with
Kılıçdaroğlu'nun CHP'si
41% of the votes,
%25'te kaldı.
and Kılıçdaroğlu's CHP
Kasım
was left at
2015 tekrar
25%.
seçiminde
In November's repeat elections, AK Party this time rose to 50% and Kılıçdaroğlu again got his 25%, which failed him once again at the election polls. When we appeared in front of our nation in the 2017 referendum, our yes was able to reach 52% of the total votes, but Kılıçdaroğlu's no campaign failed. In the 2018 elections, at the presidency, we have reached a 53% rate in the votes, and Kılıçdaroğlu, once again, since he was not brave enough to challenge me personally, with the candidate that he has offered, he could only get 30% of the votes. The same day, at the parliamentary elections, AK Party won 43% of the votes. Kılıçdaroğlu's party's votes were only 23%. During these elections, the People's Alliance vote exceeded 54%. In the 2019 local administration elections, AK Party achieved 45%, but CHP and despite all the support that they drew from other parties, including the HDP, could barely reach 30%. Consequently, directly or indirectly, we have challenged each other 10 times in front of our nation, and each time we won, we beat him at the elections.
Bay Kemal, senin kıratın buna yetmez.
Mr. Kemal, you don't have the capacity.
Senin daha çok çalışman lazım.
You have a lot to learn.
Ve biz sana oturduğun koltukta meşruiyet
And
sağlamayız.
we cannot allow you legitimacy in the seat, in the position that you're occupying. We have other work to do. Our work is our nation. We continue our journey with our nation. We don't have anything to discuss at round tables.
Neler görüşüyorsunuz, neler konuşuyorsunuz hepsi ortada.
It's obvious what issues you're discussing at those round tables, and share it and let's see how much you can. Nothing can come out of that round table.
Unutkanlığınıza geldi galiba.
You have probably forgotten. Why did you exclude HDP?
Bak arkadaşlarımız güzel söylüyor. Herhalde masanın altında mı kaldı?
Maybe they were under the table.
Herhalde şimdi de bir ziyarete gidersin.
You will probably visit them soon and go visit them so that they don't understand that they've been forgotten aside. But we don't have any such concern. AK Party, the Nationalist Movement Party, the BBP, together we continue on this journey. After every failure at the ballot boxes, they say they will do what is necessary. He always claims that he will abandon his position, but just like his every other claim, this turned out to be a lie as well. Putting Kılıçdaroğlu to lead the party may be a part of a plan, but despite every failure, he is still kept at the position, and that's only a sign that he has not yet fulfilled the mission that he has been given. But in 2023, hopefully our nation will condemn this person and the mentality that he represents to the dusty archives of the history of politics.
Milletimizin çelikten iradesini
Our nation has a will of steel. With terror, tutelage, coup, and threats, they could not break it, and as a last measure, they are using the economy. We are aware of the games that are being played. One of the elements of this game is to portray our country as a place which is difficult to live in and to demoralize our people and especially our youth. Yes, we do have certain challenges, but the means that we have or the advantages that we have are much greater and much more valuable. Thankfully, Turkey is a country where citizens are sure of their properties and their lives, and they have no worries about their future. Thankfully, Turkey has more than 30 million jobs, and it's a country where people don't have difficulties in finding employment or where they have problem in saving the day. And thankfully, Turkey, even at a time period where developed and developing countries are closing themselves off, has been a country which turned crises into opportunities and increased gears continuously and raised the bar. Nobody within the borders of this country can be hungry thanks to the social aid, health, and education system, and it's a country which prioritizes helping those who need help, and Turkey did not reach this current position easily. On top of the heritage taken over from the Ottoman Empire, with the foundation of the Republic, a new phase has started, and with late Menderes and Özal, the democracy and development journey got renewed speed, and we have suffered and overcome many difficulties, and we have paid many hefty prices. And as AK Party, together with the People's Alliance, we have carried this struggle to the highest level in our history. By solving the century-long problems of our country, we have allowed it to shift to a new age, and we will be the ones who can overcome the present challenges.
Ülkemizi dünyanın en büyük 10 ekonomisinden biri haline getirmeden we
will not abandon the struggle until we make our country one of the top 10 economies of the world. Until we turn the dreams of our nation into reality, we will continue this work. And we do not make claims, empty claims like some do. Everything that we have committed to our nation, we have fulfilled, and we are going to fulfill this one as well. For our children, we will leave a big and strong Turkey in which they can realize their 2050 dreams. Until then, we will not stop, and we will not rest, as everyone should know. We will not be like those who look elsewhere for solutions or who look outside for solutions. We only trust the help of God and the support of our nation and our civilization and our history. And with that, we were able to bring the country to the current level. And today, with this support and strength that we draw from our nation in every area, from diplomacy to economy, we protect the rights and interests of our country, and when necessary, we challenge the whole world to do so. In the past, those who looked down on Turkey or who treated it like a colony, today are sitting at the same table with us at equal conditions. They're running negotiations with us, and they look into our eyes and they're wondering about our reactions. In the past, it was only a source of labor force or a market for their production, but those same see partnerships with us in every area today, from industry to defense. In the past,
ve medeniyet
they
birikiminden koparmak için
tried to
her
break it
yolu
away from
deneyenler
its civilization
yeniden
and its
özünü
beliefs.
keşfeden
They
bir
used every
toparlanışı,
method to do
bir
so, but today
yükselişi, bir
they are
şahlanışı
witnessing a
seyrediyor.
recovery and a growth
Emin
which
olun
rediscovers
büyük ve
its
güçlü
essence.
Türkiye'nin inşasına bugün engel olamayanlar
Those who were
yarın bu
unable to
inkişafın
prevent the building
ışığında
of a big and strong
yararlanmak
Turkey,
için
in the future
hepsi
they will
sıraya
line up
girecekler.
to benefit from the
Çünkü
light
dünya
of this
yeni ve köklü
progress
bir değişimin
because the
sancılarını
world
yaşıyor.
is having
Küresel
suffering
finans
the
kriziyle
pain
başlayıp
of a big
küresel
change.
salgınla süren
With the global
ekonomik ve sosyal
health
boyutlarıyla
and
giderek
economic
genişleyen
crisis,
bu değişimin
a change
yükselen
has deepened and
yıldızı
expanded, and the
Türkiye'dir,
rising star
Türkiye.
of this change is Turkey.
Siz kendi ülkelerinin yükselişini engellemek için paçasından sarılıp
There are
dibe
those who
çekmeye
try to
çalışanlara
prevent the
aldırmayın.
progress of their own
Onların
country, but do
hayalindeki
not
siyaset
listen to them. The
tek
politics that
parti
they have
faşizmi siyasetidir.
in their minds is the
Onların
fascism of the
hayalindeki
single
yönetim
party period,
darbe
or
yönetimidir.
the
Onların
management, the
hayalindeki
administration
Türkiye
that they have
siyasi ve
in mind
ekonomik
is
krizlerin
one of coups,
pençesinde kıvranan
or
eski
the
Türkiye'dir.
old Turkey which was
Dikkat
suffering
ederseniz
political
kendilerini ne kadar
crises
tutmaya
and
çalışırlarsa
economic
çalışsınlar,
crises. No much how matter
oynadıkları
they
tiyatro
try to hide
oyununda
it,
mutlaka
they
bir açık verir.
always
Ya milletin inancına,
make their intentions
ibadetine,
evident in the game that
kıyafetine,
they're playing. They either
değerlerine hakaret
insult the
ediyorlar.
values or the
Ya
clothing or
insanların
the
alın
beliefs of
terlerini,
our nation, or they
emeklerini
look down
kendileri ve
on the
aileleri
hard
için
work and
gösterdikleri
efforts
gayreti
of our
alaya alıyorlar.
nation. They make
Ya
fun of
terör
it,
örgütü
or
yandaşlarıyla
they
kol kola giriyor,
uh,
darbecilere göz
work
kırpıyor,
together with terror
Türkiye
supporters, or they
düşmanlarına
give positive
selam
signals to coup plotters, or
Üstelik bunlarla
they
da
send their
kalmıyor.
greetings
Hırsızlık,
to enemies of
taciz,
Turkey. And they do
tecavüz,
not stop there.
arsızlık yapan
Theft,
mensuplarını koruyup
rape and
kollayarak
harassment are going
kimseyi
on, and
umursamadıklarını
they protect those
açıkça
members who
gösteriyor.
take part
Çünkü
in such activities
bunların
with no
derdi
regard to
ülke
anybody
ve
else, because
millete
their ultimate
hizmet
goal
değil.
is not to serve
Eğer
the
öyle
country
olsaydı
and the nation. If
bunca
that
yıldır
was the case,
ülkenin ve
for
milletin
so many
hayrına
years,
bir
they would
projelerini,
produce a
tekliflerini,
project or an
samimi bir
offer, a
müzekçelerini,
proposal,
azıcık da
or
olsa gayretlerini
express their
görürdük.
concern, or make any
Hiçbiri yok.
little effort to the
Tek
benefit
vaatleri
of the country. But we
eski
don't see any
Türkiye'yi
of those. Their
geri
only
getir.
claim is to bring back the
Biz de
old
diyoruz
days.
ki
But we
eski
say
hal muhal,
that
ya
is no
yeni
longer
hal
possible.
ya izmihlal. Kimsenin eski Türkiye'nin o karanlık siyasi
Nobody
ve ekonomik iklimini geri
should
getirmesine
dream
izin
about
vermeyeceğiz.
bringing back the climate
Bugünlerde
of the
yaşanan
old Turkey.
sıkıntılar
The
gelip
problems that are
geçmiş.
experienced currently
Yitip
are
bulununca
temporary,
emek zayi olmazmış. Böyle der büyüklerimiz.
and as our ancestors say,
İnşallah
when good
bu
results are
sıkıntıları
achieved,
atlatıp
it will be worth
ülkemizi
all the
2023
effort.
hedeflerine
Hopefully, we will
ulaştırdığımızda
overcome these challenges,
verdiğimiz
and
tüm
once we
emeklerin,
reach our
yaptığımız tüm
2023 goals,
fedakarlıkların,
all the efforts
döktüğümüz
and the
tüm alın
sacrifice
terlerinin
and the
karşılığını
tear
almış
will
olacağız.
be paid back.
Sahip olduğumuz imkanlar gibi
Just like the
yaşanan
means that we
sıkıntıların
have,
da farkındayız.
we are aware of the
Bize önce
problems that are being
özgürlük
experienced
havasını
as well.
teneffüs edeceğimiz,
We
güvenliğimizi ve
first need
huzurumuzu
the freedom
sağlama alacağımız
and
güçlü bir eser
a
ve
security,
hizmet altyapısına
and
sahip olacağımız
we need
ülke lazım.
a strong
O da
service infrastructure, and this
bunlar
should be
olmadığında
Turkey.
sadece
Türkiye.
ideolojik
If when this
dayatmalarla,
does not exist,
sadece
only
yalan
through
yanlış
ideological
bilgilerle
impositions
mevcudu
or
karalayarak,
fake
sadece
information
siyasi ve
or
sosyal
defamation,
pay
only
hatlarını
through
gıdıklayarak
political
gidilecek bir
and
yol,
social fault
elde
lines,
edilecek hayırlı bir
there could be
netice
no positive
yoktur.
result achieved or no
Biz
progress that can be
çalışacağız.
made. We
Milletimiz
will work
sabredecek.
hard, and our
Ve
nation
inşallah
will
güzel günlere
display
hep birlikte
patience, and
kavuşacağız.
all together, hopefully, we
Yeter ki
will reach
birliğimize,
brighter days.
beraberliğimize,
As long as we
kardeşliğimize sahip çıkalım.
preserve our unity and
kardeşlerim,
our brotherhood.
Hükümete geldiğimiz
Since
günden beri
the day we came
önceliklerin
to
en
office,
başına
came to government,
eğitimi
we have
koymamızın
always
bir sebebi var.
prioritized education, and
Türkiye,
this was for a reason.
tarihinin en büyük demokrasi
Turkey
ve kalkınma hamlesini hedefine ulaştırması
is
ancak
can only reach its
eğitimle
economy
mümkün
and
olabilir.
democracy development
Salgın
only
döneminde
through
de bu
education.
önceliğimizden
During
taviz
the
vermedik.
pandemic, we did not compromise on this priority. The first part of this year, thankfully, it was finished with face-to-face education, and after the 2-week vacation, we will comply with all measures and continue with the face-to-face education. Of course, the engine of education is our teachers, who we do not neglect. We used to have 500,000 teachers in 2000, and we have increased this number to 1.2 million. The teachers' vocational law has been recently passed as well. In the last week of December, the vocational training law has seen 3 significant amendments. The students who go to vocational training centers, they used to receive 30% of the minimum wage, but that has been increased. As a result, at the end of the 3rd year, the apprentices will receive 50% of the minimum wage. After such changes, the number of students in vocational training centers has jumped to 335,000 from the previous 159,000. Hopefully, by the end of the year, we will increase this number to 1 million. So we will increase employment through vocational training, and we will eliminate the problem of not being able to find skilled workers. We will make that history, and we continue enriching our schools with libraries. And in as short as 2 months, we have built libraries for 16,000 schools which formerly did not have libraries, and we have increased the number of books from 28 million to 50 million. We have also solved the problem of aiding material. Our ministry will distribute free of charge such books to all students. In the past 3 months, close to 24 million aiding textbooks have been distributed to students to help disburden our families. We will initiate the 10,000 school project. This is a project of 3 billion lira budget, and 10,000 primary school and middle schools infrastructure will be improved with laboratories and workshops. Our goal is to make sure that our children are much more equipped in becoming the Technofest generation. In other areas, I ask you to give the message, to convey the work that we do in education to all of our citizens. And with such sentiments, once again, I greet all of you, and take care of yourselves.
Efendim, bizler de ardından yol yürümekten onur ve gurur duyduğumuz liderimiz AK Parti Genel Başkanı, Cumhurbaşkanımız Sayın Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'a hitaplarından dolayı şükranlarımızı ve saygılarımızı arz ediyoruz.